taking a break from painting this weird thing to paint some. I could either go to bed early. It's like 10:15 p.m. I thought, you know what? Let me just do a little bit more painting. Just a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to... Oops, go to the top here. This weird thing. I'll put it aside. Maybe work on it tomorrow. Oh yeah, this is what I want to do. I'm really thirsty. I'm gonna open up a drink. How about some ginger ale? Listen to this. Get my glass here. Put the mic. Oh, this actually be tough. Hang on, listen. That sounds good. I've actually been waiting about like 15-20 minutes setting up this camera just so I can have a drink, but I want to do this first. Does that sound good? All right. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. You know when you hold off on something, you wait in anticipation for it to happen? Oh, that's good. It's so cold. So cold and good. Okay. So, yummy. This is this stuff has no what the fuck is it called? Excuse my French. Aspartame. I don't know. It uses no artificial sweeteners, so no GMO. It's kind of silly, actually. It's like people have a fear of GMOs when GMOs actually, in some cases, are very beneficial. Anyhow, what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Just blow my nose again. Oh, that's... Where's the box of Kleenex? I had a box of Kleenex. Anyway. Okay, so what I'm going to do... Let me go to my... Where's the Restream? Okay, no, I don't need Restream. There's YouTube. Is it even working? Are we live? Okay. Chat. I'm going to... Oh, shoot. I got to hit the chat on DLive. And Unicorn 75. I can't tell if you just came... Sorry, here, I got to show what I'm looking at. This is my desktop. Over here, Facebook, it's okay. It says it's live, so I got to click on this so I can see if anyone's chatting. Unicorn 75. I don't know if you gave me a lemon before, or that was just now. And let me just see who's on Facebook. I'm going to put YouTube on top of DLive. Get more space going. Here we go. I mean, on top of... I'm going to put... Yeah, YouTube, I'm on top of Restream. I'm going to put DLive here. And I'm going to put Facebook here. And I'm just going to stretch it across. I don't know why. It seems a little slow. Seems a little slow. 1.4 drop frames due to rendering lag. I wonder why. That's unusual. I'm going to put the fan on my computer. Okay, I'm just quickly checking to see if it's streaming. Okay, we're streaming. We're rocking, we're rolling. And what I'm going to do is I kind of had this idea. I was just sitting upstairs. I was thinking I could go to bed early or I could just feel like doing a little bit more. So I kind of had this idea of some trees that are kind of like all bending together. Like, I'll just start drawing. Let me just sharpen this pencil. Okay. I don't know what colors I'm going to go with yet. Don't know. Oh, it's now. Okay, so Unicorn 75. Right on. Okay, so I kind of was thinking, like, imagine, like, they're arcing. Okay, I could either make them pointy, like perspective is this way, or what I think I'm going to do is, for some weird reason, the trees are all bending towards the middle. That's kind of freaky, if you ask me. Like, why the fuck are the trees going towards the middle? That's so weird. Okay. Maybe it's going to make like a strange canopy that's coming in. What the? No, the trees, the like magnetic forces are pulling me in. I don't understand. And also then the horizon. Do I do something weird with the horizon where it dips down? That sounds like that black guy in that Jordan Peterson debate. There was a debate in Toronto at the Monk, I think it was the Monk debates or something. And it was like Jordan Peterson and who's that guy? I like that British actor. He's kind of like, he's known for his very dry wit. I forget his name. And there was this black guy who was a preacher, and I don't even forget who the other there was a woman who was the other debater. But the black guy, he was like, And I'm afraid to say that guy didn't know what the hell he was talking. He was one of those people who speaks quickly to try to obfuscate the fact that he wasn't really saying much. That was my impression of the guy. I don't know the guy's name. Okay. Whoa, these trees are coming. Oh, maybe I should. What the hell? There's another little one over here. Okay, I have to have another drink of this thing here. Oh, that's so good. Oh, and Bonnie's there. Hey, Bonnie, I got your message. Thank you. I wasn't quite sure how to respond to it because it sounded like it was okay. I'm not going to talk too much about it here because it was kind of a personal message, but I did receive it. And I need to think about it. I need to think about what you wrote before I respond. Sometimes, like, I just need time sometimes. I get a little overwhelmed with messages and stuff. And if someone, like, requests things or asks things of me, I just need to take my time to absorb it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to Bonnie. I'm pretty sure that was you who messaged me not long ago with a sort of long message about, anyhow, stuff. Okay, so should I do I could do like, if I go straight across, there's something is kind of making me think bending the horizon. The only problem with that is it might look like I'm trying to, like in some photographs, some people use a lens, I guess, like a wide depth of field lens to make that fisheye thing. You might think that's what I'm doing, but I was just trying to. It just felt like the composition would be better with a bent horizon. That's it. It felt better. I was literally about to go straight across, but this is something. I don't know. I just need to mess around for a little while. I just didn't want to go to bed. I just wanted to do that. Okay. All right. And what this thing is going to be, I'm not quite sure. Like, as far as the colors, I did kind of like that one I did. This one. Okay, so I want to try going darker, more macabre. That's the word. This one has crazy tiny little details in it, like just kind of like obsessively nuts. And this one I could attempt to go obsessively nuts. Actually, let me see if I can fix the autofocus. Last time when I was doing this, or just earlier on today, there was an issue with super autofocus. So what I'm going to do, here, let me just show you what I'm doing while I'm... Oh, for fuck's sake, the whole time I was on the wrong camera. God, I'm such a moron. I am such a moron. Okay, this is actually where I wanted to be the whole time. So stupid. Oh. The whole time I thought I was here. So I just drew this. It's not a very professional film studio we have here. The crew is kind of out to lunch. They should be fired. This is my opinion. Okay. I wonder why I'm getting frame rendering lag issues. This actually could be a problem. There's a chance I might have to restart this stream. Here, I'll just show you what I'm talking about now. Over here, this tells me now it's good. Now we're good. See this red marker here? When that goes above 7 or 8%, you start to really notice frame rate drops and like weird that kind of stuff. And it was just up there a second ago. Now it's at 3.3%, which is somewhat acceptable. Okay, so I'm just going to continue. No more techno babble. Let's go here. I'm going to zoom in. That's too far zoomed in. That was quite a big jump. Wow, okay, there we go. All right. I can't believe I wasn't showing the right thing. Okay. Do we have anybody in Facebook right now? Like, it looks like there's a couple be there, but I haven't heard anything. Okay. All right, so let's just go. Maybe I'll have a couple of these little spindly little things coming up. That one's kind of a shitty little tree there. Let's try it. Let's see some other colors. What are the colors I got? So what? I'm just talking aloud. I'm just talking to myself. Okay. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a wash here. I'm not sure if I like this kind of openness. It needs like, feels like it needs something, like maybe one more. Like that. Just needed something like this one might be even coming out like this. A unicorn, are you still there? Oh, I left a bunch of paint brushes in here. Hold on. Where are they? Oh, maybe I didn't leave them there. Okay. I was wrong. I actually had them the whole time. Okay. Okay. Let's just rock with this thing. Let's rock with this thing. This time I am going to go green. I am going to go green. Let's do a green wash. Let's pick a brush. This one looks like it'll work. Okay, let's pick out a couple brushes. This one. We'll use this one. How about this one? Those 4. And I may eventually get to this cute little tiny one. Okay. Well, if anybody's here, just say something, because okay. Oh, maybe that's the problem. Too many rendering things. If I could pause these, maybe that's the better idea. Okay. Okay. That'll help. Let's pick a green. There's that olive green was kind of nice. Oh, maybe this one? Okay, Viridian. Sap green. This turquoise blue will be good. The grass green, well, it's grass. You can't go wrong with that. The color that's called green, actually. Oh, do I have 2 grass greens? Look at that. I'm not actually going to use the colors called green. Cobalt green, too intense. There's a olive somewhere. Light green, too light. Emerald green, too emerald. Come on, man. I was like totally in love with you. Where'd you go? Oh, here you are. There's olive green. Kind of like this. Okay. So, I think I'm going to go with, there's one more color I think I want to use. This is blue. It's like, oh, here it is. No, that's not. That's navy blue. It's like this blue-green color. I don't know why I'm into the blue-green. I don't even know what blue-green, deep green. Actually, that might be nice. If, oh, here it, Viridian? Yeah. Okay, so these are the colors I'm going to play with first. Right here. Here, I need to have another drink. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, turquoise blue. That might be interesting. What if I did blue as a background? Nah, let's do the sap green. I don't know. I know what I could also do. I could do 2. I got an idea. I'll do 2 washes of color. I'll do a turquoise blue. Well, that's 2 blue. 2 goddamn blue. I'll try Viridian. Let's try this. That's a nice, that's pretty, it's going to be pretty intense. Okay. Watch this. Whoa. That blue was too, yeah, there's the Viridian. I like that color. That's what I'm talking about. Whoa, wow, goddamn, what is going on? Look at that. Whoa. Oh, okay, this is gonna be, I've never actually done a, well, not never, probably have in my life, but I do not recall in any recent times I've done a wash this dark. Let's just see what happens. Let's just go with the flow and see where it goes. Let's see how dark it gets. Let's see what it does. I guess I'm just filling the whole painting because I sometimes forget to paint the edges. In fact, this painting is kind of funny. Look at this. I went to the edge, except the bottom. I didn't paint the whole bottom row. Oh well. Okay. Whoops. I don't need that. I don't need to watch myself. Come on. Come on, internet. Sorry, it's being a little goofy. I don't need to see myself. Thank you very much. How do you pause it? Oh, okay. This brush is very loose. It's actually it's almost too loose to paint with. Like what I mean is the brushes are so bendy, it's kind of a little awkward to paint. How about this? Yeah, how about this? Maybe this time I'll go dark. I'm gonna go dark on the horizon line. Let's throw things into reverse. just because in the past I've always done the, not always. Okay, I'm gonna not talk for a bit. Not talk. Hey, Cindy, you're back. Cindy's back. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be happy not to use this brush anymore. It's very silly. It's a silly brush. It's all bendy and floppy. You don't need no bendy brush. Is it working? I'm not really sure how to check sometimes. Sometimes it's kind of hard to know. Unless I'm talking with people. Because on DLive, I have to have a wide thing open so I can see how many viewers there are. YouTube, I haven't quite figured out yet. I haven't really looked at it carefully. And Facebook, I think it usually shows me like a little eye icon. Okay. Okay. Now, let's do a wash for the sky. I think I'm gonna have to get my other water. I got two waters. One is a little polluted with the green. This one will sort of just kind of give an impression of a sky here. Maybe so I just okay. What I think I might do. Hey, Mazika. Well, my weekend so far. Let me just take my pill thing, huh? All I've done today, grocery shopping and painted. That's it. That's all I've done today. Last night and yesterday I painted. That's it. Yeah. I don't know. How was your weekend? Or how is your weekend so far? Mazika, what time zone are you in? Right now it's 10:36 p.m. What time is it where you are? I love this brush. I just got these brushes. Look at this little guy. It's square. So I'll turn it on its side. Can you see that? It's thin on one side and flat on the other, and it's nice and firm. Okay. So what I'm going to do... You're in Toronto. Oh, right. Weren't you in Montreal last time? I think you were in Montreal, right? When we were talking about that before? Okay. All right. So I'm just trying to feel this vibe here. What vibe am I going to go for? Yeah, I was on a trip. Oh, you live in Toronto. Get the hell out of here. That's hilarious. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. You probably told me before, but I forgot. I'm sorry. If you did tell me, I forgot. Okay. So what kind of vibe am I going for? This green is just an undercoat. Like I literally could put oranges on top. I don't think I am. I definitely don't want the green. Like I gotta think about this. Like how also I gotta think about how I'm gonna make it interesting, right? I'm sort of trying to feel the flow of this sucker. What I do while I'm at it, I'll just draw some like wood wood markings and stuff, like, you know, like when they have little elbows and the rings go around the elbows kind of thing. Like put up another elbow over here like this. Here's another elbow. There's a bed. It's fine. My weekend is nice, just chilling all day. Let me just make the chat bigger so I can see what else you said. Just chilling all day and had nuggets. That's hilarious. Chicken nuggets. You ever seen that video about the making of the chicken nuggets? The sludge. It's pink sludge, I think they call it. Just making up some shapes and stuff on these guys. I know they are so good. I was reading actually about like hot dogs. No, I was on Reddit and they're talking about actually when I went to this place called, what's the name of it? For grocery shopping, I went to this place called Farm Boy. And I like it. It's nice. It's like Loblaws, but a little bit nicer than Loblaws. And all the produce was fresh and it was great. But anyhow, they had, A&W has these meatless burgers. There's a certain name for them. So they actually have them. That was one location. And I was on Reddit reading about it and talking about how A&W has these meatless burgers. And what are we talking about? Oh yeah, they're still they actually. I went and had one. I tried one. Was it like last Sunday or something? And it was. We went. My son and I went there, and we got a teen burger, which is a regular hamburger. I've never been to A&W before in my life. So we got a teen burger and we got one of those meatless burgers. And I actually liked the meatless burger more. It had a kind of a little bit of a zingy flavor. Like it didn't quite taste like meat, but I actually preferred the taste. It was weird. But check it out. For one teen burger and one meatless burger, it was $16. I was like, really? Just for two burgers? And like, you know, that was kind of a little surprising. We didn't get anything else, just two burgers. Anyhow, they now sell them at, you could buy them, the meat or whatever the hell, I don't even know what they're made of, like probably, you know, beans, I don't know, but you can go to that Farm Boy and buy the A&W meatless burger, or just the meatless burgers there. All right, I'm just mixing some more drink here. But I would recommend them. Like, I was amazed. So unlike chicken nuggets, which are basically just beaks and assholes of the chicken, those meatless things were quite delicious. Okay, so what could this be? Okay, so my goal, I'm going to add more black, is to do something where this actually turned out kind of nice. It's like very busy as hell, but I like this sort of pattern going across here, and the whole thing is just kind of crazy and chaotic. So maybe I'll just start going. How about this? I'm just going to start going. Let's just start putting some paint down. Let's try this. This is a turquoise blue. I saw ads with him, but I never tried. Yeah. Does that mean you watch TV? I haven't watched TV in I don't know how many years ago. I got rid of my TVs. Everything's online for me, so I don't see ads. Oh, maybe I forgot to. This brush feels a little hard. When someone says ads, I just assume they're watching TV, because I don't really even pay attention to other ads. Maybe. Oh, browns. That's what I was thinking. This should be all about browns. Browns and black. Ads on YouTube. Oh man, I don't even notice them. Do you actually notice ads? I just ignore this wasted advertising dollars on me. What were you watching on YouTube? Like what interests you? Maybe I'll learn something. I'll learn about a new thing all you young people are listening to. I like saying that. I like pretending I'm really old. What are you young folks into these days? Are you watching the PewDiePies? That kind of shit. I love that shit. The PewDiePies. The PewDiePies is on the internet a lot. So this fellow PewDiePies, he's playing those video games, isn't he? You know, one day he might realize he needs to get a real job. Oh, wait, who else is there? Juliet's there. Farm Boy. Yeah, it was awesome. Farm Boy. I'm a big fan now. I'm going to go there instead. There's a Farm Boy next to the close to the Loblaws that I usually go to, and it was just nice. Like, I couldn't believe how nice the produce was. Like, it was beautiful. Kind of reminded me of Japan. When I was living in Japan, everything was so perfect. Every apple, every melon. Oh my God, back then, melons cost $40. And they were little melons, like this big. And I'll tell you something crazy. They had individually wrapped stalks of celery. Can you believe that shit? You go to that's how expensive things were. They individually wrapped celery. They used to give like melons. Actually, the things they had about melons were they had a kind of a bit of a fetish with melons. They used to give them like as presents. Oh, that's the thing about Japan. You always got to bring little gifts, and the packaging is almost more important than what you give. Like, their packaging is beautiful. It's a work of art. Okay, Google AI ads are directed to whatever I'm searching, so they always match my interest, which is creepy. Well, it depends on how weird your interests are. Like, I wonder what that's the thing. How can it be creepy now? That's just the way it is. That's just the norm. You got to get used to that. Things are going to change very quickly soon. We're gonna notice some very extreme changes in AI. There's going to be, I think we'll hit singularity in the next 5 years. That is when we're going to have an AI that's indistinguishable from a human and in intelligence like you. And I think 5 years is probably a possible timeline. It's probably would happen. Well, I think it's probably all going to change once we can fully actualize quantum computers, once we can actually learn how to program to actually have some like elasticity, because right now they're like ASIC computers. ASIC computers are sort of single functional computers, so their whole hardware is dedicated towards a single purpose. That's why their quantum computers aren't very good we can't program quantum computers like we can regular computers. But once they figure out how, like, a way to make them more flexible, and we get to the point where we're at like 10 qubits or 30 qubits, the world is going to be a different place. They're probably going to be able to do simulations of reality. Like, you hit a 50, 100 qubits, it'll be so... they could probably create a matrix with living creatures in it that are indistinguishable, just like being in the Matrix. So there's a theoretical possibility in our lifetime there is going to be this AI quantum world. Okay, I'm kind of messing up here because right now this... Oh, I know what I'll do. Maybe I'll do what I did in the other one. Yeah, like the Matrix. Woo-woo. Except we won't be necessarily the creatures in the Matrix. What I'm suggesting is that the AI will create a virtual world, and the software inside the virtual world are the living creatures who they themselves are sentient. And those sentient, I say creatures, programs, will, let's say they become self-aware. So they are self-aware within a software. It's kind of like, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but if you ever play Minecraft, people actually have built a computer in Minecraft using the tools of Minecraft. It's like a meta thing. So I think that's where it's going to get kind of freaky. And we might be the observer, and we would be like these crazy god figures to the sentient AI little bots that the AI has given birth to, given rise to. And they'll have whole battles inside. What if so that's a possibility. It's a possibility that we are a simulation into these vast quantum computers that, maybe exactly. That is entirely a possibility, because the idea is there's also no way for us to understand, to see beyond our own. I mean, yes, I agree. That could be the way things actually are. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, right now the sky is so blue and too happy. So let's make this thing dramatic. Oh, do I want to bring like... Okay, let's do this. What if I brought this purple in here? That would make it kind of freaky, wouldn't it? Okay, let's try it. Why not? Let's try bringing in some darker colors. Believe it or not, I'm going to bring some red in. And I'm going to see what will happen when I do this. And the problem right now, I'm kind of screwing myself a little bit, because my intention was to have a lot more trees. Like, if you look here, whereas you can see there's lots of trees, there's like hundreds of them. And by me putting this thick background, it'll make it harder later to add trees on top of it, just because of the way the nature of gouache paint kind of operates. Like, it's going to get dry a little darker than you might expect. Farm... Oh, better go see... Okay, like Farm Boy. Ba 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 ba. I'm so disappointed in Facebook. I had played literally one song and I was singing to it at the beginning of one of my live streams. And I actually ended up painting for about 4.5 hours. Facebook killed my live stream because the song I was playing was some kind of copyright. What was it? It was "Where's My Mind" by the Pixies, and I was singing to it. So there's much more people on Facebook that follow me because I just started on D Live. So no one saw it. So it's like maybe of 12,000 people, they only showed it to like 30 people. And then later they said, okay, well, we're going to let people watch it. But of course, it's too late because no one really watches 4 hours of live stream. You know, like the whole point of a live stream is like someone's there, you can sort of like talk to them and shit, right? I was like, oh man, you fucking seriously? And all I want to do is just listen to a little bit of music, like just because it's something very enjoyable about music and painting, right? It's more relaxing. But no, the gods of copyright decreed that it shall not be so. And your singing constitutes a breach of our intellectual property. We will smite you down, and thou shalt not. Well, I'm just babbling. Ba 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 ba. Toronto, that's kind of weird. Oh, I got a cool. Are you there, Mazika? Because I want to tell you a funny story. But I won't start telling the story unless you're there, because this is one of my favorite stories of all time, and it kind of relates to the fact that you're in Toronto. So if you tell me you're there, then I'll tell you the really awesome story. If you're not there, I won't say it. Okay. This is a true story. Many years ago, I won't say the guy's name because it might be kind of embarrassing. A little bit, but it's also kind of personal. Not to me, more to him. But back in the day, believe it or not, I was slim and good looking. And so I had a friend in high school who was kind of, I love this guy. He's brilliant and he's a sweet guy, but he always had trouble with women, right? And I never really had a problem meeting women. It was just sort of, I didn't try hard. It just like, I just treat people like people and things seem to work out. Anyhow, he calls me for advice on dating because I had started doing some online dating, and I think I met my wife, ex-wife, and that's another funny story online. And I was like, things were going well. Let's just say I was meeting all kinds of people, and it was fun. And I guess he wanted some advice because he's been chatting online with a woman for a while, but he wasn't sure how to proceed. And my advice was just, listen, just be yourself. Don't worry. Just sort of like the regular kind of stuff you tell somebody, like, just be yourself and don't be needy and be cool and be funny and try to, what the thing is, here was my trick, not my trick, but my philosophy was enjoy yourself. Like, you don't be a pleaser necessarily, but like, if someone isn't there and you're not enjoying it, just fuck it. Bye. See you later. And so I think it whatever I told him, I can't remember what it was, it worked. Because, I also said, listen, you just gotta, like, if you don't feel confident, just act confident, because that's everything. Everything is like, it doesn't matter how you look, it's very important that you have a couple things. One is, be confident and have a sense of humor, and everything else is going to take care of itself. And how do you be confident? Well, you know what? Just act confident. Act confident, and then you'll feel it, and then you'll get there. Because I know the guy was like as a person, really, I've always loved this guy. And his older brother, I got stories about his older brother, who's a really cool guy. And he's like this, well, I can't get into his brother. Anyhow, here's the story that I'm getting to. It's almost like I have to stop painting just to even tell a story, because it's such a good story. He eventually, I was telling him, you should meet her. And so they had been talking for something like 6 months, and they had never met. And I was like, God, you got, like, where does she live? Oh, she lives in the city somewhere in Toronto, right? And this is why I'm talking to you, Music, because we both live in the city, and I had an idea, like, what if you were like my neighbor? Wouldn't that be crazy? And now that's why I'm telling you this story. And I'm kind of giving it away a little bit, but let me finish. So he asks her and says, well, I live in, like, sort of Midtown. And she says, well, me too. And then he says, well, I live, not far from, like, Winston Churchill Park. And she says, oh my God, me too. And he says, well, I'm around St. Clair and, Christ, what is that? Is that Forest Hill? What's the one that goes north? Whatever. It's like St. Clair and I forget the Spadina, whatever. It's Spadina. And she says, oh my God, me too. And then he says, well, I'm on the corner of like Strathcona and St. Clair. It's not Sac. I can't remember that street name. And she says, me too. And he says, well, I'm on the building on the northwest corner. And she says, me too. And he says, I'm on the 3rd floor. And she says, I'm on the 4th floor. And he says, I'm in the first apartment at the front. And she says, me too. It turns out all this time she was living right above him in that apartment. And he told me this. I said, go meet her. And they met. And they fell in love and they got married. Isn't that awesome? That is such a wicked story. The whole time she was right above him. It's like a movie. So I kind of feel somewhat responsible for him meeting his wife. Oh, I love that story. And he's like one of those people that you're so happy that it's, you know what? I think, like, isn't that crazy? He's one of those people where he was so awkward in high school that you just know some people who just grow. High school holds them back because for whatever reason. And it was more of a social thing for him for some reason, right? And then who bloomed afterwards. And now he's the CEO of this crazy cool tech company. And he's doing great. Isn't that a wicked story? So I could totally say his name and everything, but I kind of feel like, maybe I should not offer up people's life stories like that too easily. And he's someone actually. There's a couple people like I don't do a lot of socializing because just I don't like to do it too much. But he's one of the few people that I've enjoyed getting together. Like every once in a while, every couple years, like we might just hook up and have breakfast together, like go to Fran's or something. And like here's the thing, he was made a fellow at U of T. Here's how smart and brilliant was. He was like, what was it? He has this crazy weird honorarium. It was like, what was it? He was like the editor of like a major newspaper. No, yeah, it was like the something review. Like I can't remember what it was. But then he was given an honorary position as a fellow at University of Toronto, and what that means for life. It's in what's that center? You know that very. Oh God, what is that place called? It's like the most respected intellectual zone at U of T. I'll remember the name in a second, and if you're from, you'll know it. So he was made a fellow there, which means for life he can have this cool office space in that really wicked old building. I actually went to go hear someone talk there. God damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyhow, like that, like it's just like he's up there when it comes to like some of this academic stuff he was doing, and just brilliant. What is that place called? I know a guy. Well, I know the family, and I know the guy who, Jonathan Tepperman, he did his speech there. Oh, God, I can't remember. U of T. Not like, you know how like U of T has Trinity College? It's like the special one for the top professors. It's like there's a name for that place. It's like the time-honored. It's small. My dad was made a part of it once. He was a part of it. And we actually went there, and they have like upstairs where they have dinner, and they have all these high chairs. They look like thrones. God damn, that is so crazy. Yes, a small world. Okay, so this, look how happy and pretty this is. How do I make it dark? Okay, a black. I need to get some, let's get some browns in here. Get those blacks. Where's the black? Oh, that's very, excuse me, very brown. Here's black. If you've ever been to Disneyland, I went once when I was very young with my family. And I remember going into It's a Small World After All, and it was creepy as all these little animatronic people, kids with their creepy little fucking eyes, singing It's a Small World After All. It's a small world after all. They look like little Chuck E. Cheese murderer things. You remember that lame ass movie? Is it Chucky or something? It's a small world. Okay, I got another quick little story then. This is one of those stories where I am sure my memory of this event, because of time passing, has been embellished. So keep in mind, this story has some embellishment to it because I was so young. I was very, very young when we went to Disneyland. And I know because when we were there, I went on a roller coaster. I can't remember the name, but it was pitch black. It's like Space Mountain or something like that. But I was too young to go on it, so my brother snuck me in, and the harness wouldn't fit on me. So he kind of like was holding me in, and it started up, and I was basically falling out of this fucking, harness thing, and terrified out of my wits. And it was in the pitch black, and I remember my brother laughing and everything, and I thought I was gonna die. I thought that's it. Like the whole time was me trying to hold on because I was slipping under, those brace things you had. So I did not have a good experience on Space Mountain. I think it was. It was not as terrifying. Actually, I got another wicked story. Man, like I have all these stories. Fuck, where are they coming from? They're just coming out of my brain. I got a fucked up story about roller coasters. Canada's Wonderland. I used to love, let's say, extreme adventures. I used to love doing extreme stuff, like literally things I could have gotten killed so many times. We're talking crazy shit like climbing radio towers and that kind of stuff. But things changed. One time we were at Canada's Wonderland, and there was a popular roller coaster. I want to think it's called Dragonfire. I could be wrong, but you would know it. It goes up and then down, and it does a full loop, then a second loop, then does a corkscrew, and then a corkscrew, and then comes back. Okay? I'm pretty sure it's Dragonfire or something like that. And it was one of the coolest ones when they were talking. This is when, Maple wasn't even built at the time. Anyhow, I was going up with a friend, and I wondered how far. It was one of those inverted U shapes that goes around your, like, let me show you what I'm talking about. The harness you had to wear went over your shoulders and was like a U. And I thought, just for hell of it, because you would click, 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 right? And what happens is you get the range you want, and then just before everyone goes, they lock it in. And me being an idiot, I was like, I wonder how far I could pull it. So I sucked into all my air, and I pulled it tight as I could, and just then, they locked it in. And I couldn't breathe. And I wasn't sure what to do. And me being me, I didn't want to make a scene, but I couldn't breathe. So what happened is we're slowly going up the thing. And I'm like, right? Oh my God, just thinking about it's freaking me out. Bottom line is, for whatever the 2-3 minute ride was, I almost had no oxygen. And as we're going to loop, so what happened was we went through the whole thing, and just as we're pulling into the station, my vision was going like this. And I was watching my vision go to this tunnel like this. And just before I passed out, the thing stopped and released. And I've never been on a roller coaster since. Oh, Mary's laughing. I'm not sure which story you're laughing at. The dumb roller coaster one? See, here's how bad my brain thing memory is. I know I told the story of my friend who got married, and I told the dragon fire, but I can't remember the story I just told in between. That's horrible. I cannot remember the thing I just talked about. What story did I just say? Before the dragon fire story, the passing out one. Oh yeah, I remember the station, the Disneyland one, and those creepy little Disneyland people. It's a small world. Fucking creeping me out with the little singing people. You want to know why they're creepy? I don't even know who I'm talking to. Is anybody here? The reason why those animatronic things are creepy, and this is they found with robots and AI. They found when they try to make a robot that's too human, we are so good at perceiving humans that we always get a sense that there's something very wrong when you... Oh, sorry, I'm painting still. There's something very wrong when you see a robot that's trying to be too human. It creeps you out. So what they have done, and this is specifically the Japanese have figured this out, they make their robots intentionally not human looking. And you're more accepting of having a non-human looking robot than you are of one that's trying to be too real. So in Japan, so if you ever look at even the sci-fi movies like I, Robot and whatever, they clearly are not trying to mimic a human. Just because the technology is not far enough along to be like Blade Runner. We are too good at detecting the fact they're not human. So there you go. There's some information for you. Take it as you wish. Uncanny Valley. Wait, that's a game. Is Uncanny Valley a game? Wasn't that an indie game? Uncanny Valley. I know that. Hold on. Let me just look that up. Uncanny Valley. Where's my keyboard? Pretty sure that was an indie game, wasn't it? Oh, that's incredible. Uncanny Valley is the concept that I just described. That is cool. But I actually think there was a game called Uncanny Valley. See? Uncanny Valley on Steam. So, yeah. I know my video games. Top. Yeah. We were both correct. Two ideas can be different and correct at the same time. But that's cool to know. So I knew the video game, but I didn't know that was the term for it. And Uncanny Valley refers to the graph, I guess, right? I mean, I only very briefly looked at the Wikipedia page. And from what I saw by looking at the graph, I assumed the valley refers to the graph. So that was just my assumption. I don't actually know if valley refers to the graph, but that would just be a logical conclusion I made quickly. Can you see what I'm doing? I can't tell. So here I am. I'm just drawing in some fine lines as if these are branches or some sort of like other type of trees coming in, and just playing around a little bit. I really should be using this cute little brush. Look at this tiny brush. You see this thing? I don't even know if you can even focus. It's so small. Put it next to my thumbnail. It's not even one of my smallest brushes either. It's not focusing, but anyway, you can see how small it is. So I'll use that for doing some of the fine work. Okay, so I think what I need to do is I need to bring... I like this. I'm going to try to bring this pattern, the pattern of light and dark going across. Oh, this feels good. You should feel this. Cool. Listen. Those are hundreds of little bumps. I did go a little nuts on that one. I did put hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of little bumps. Little dots. Okay, so What I want to do is let's try making a color. Let's try light browns. I'm going to mix this cream simply because I don't have enough white left. It's a very light cream. And let's just start putting it floor, that kind of thing. I smelled something. Okay. Kind of, yeah, that's the color. Wait, is that the same color? Yeah, I think that's okay. Oh, it's a bit, is that the same? No, it's a little different. Okay. All right. Like maybe like this. Let's try that. So, Mazika, what kind of stuff, like what are you into? If you knew off the top of your head the concept of Mazika Valley, I can make some assumptions about you. Either you went to Google Fu really quickly, or that was knowledge that you knew. So, are you in? Oh, you're computer science, right? Did you go to Waterloo? Are you the one that was at Guelph or Waterloo in computer science? Because that's the kind of thing a computer science nerd would know. Am I right? Also, it's what we call a line of robots being disturbing looking. The fact you use we would imply that you subconsciously thought you're part of a group. Obviously you are, which I would think is the kind of thing. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, I got gouache all over the floor. And I know this stuff stains, so I'm just going to fix this. Hold on. I'm going to do 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm going to change my water. I'm going to clean up that stuff. The bottom of my shoe. Huh. That's even worse. I stepped in it. So I gotta go. Just do a quick walk around. Every once in a while I do that. Step in some paint and then track it all over. Okay. That looks okay. All right. Oh, you're from Seneca? Ha. I teach at Seneca. I teach 1 day a week at Seneca. Did we talk about this? What did you study at Seneca? I think we talked about this. Which campus were you on? At. Which campus were you at? We probably have talked about this, so apologize if I being forgetful. I talk to people all the time, but let me go back to Facebook because I probably closed it. Okay, good. Arts. Oh, get out of here! You're in arts and animation. You know what courses that you know? That's. Do you know me in real life? Do you know I'm a professor there, right? That's hilarious. What course are you in specifically? Because that would be really fucked up if you were going to be one of my students. I teach the post grad course and the fourth year arts and animation students in gaming. Really, what do you what like? Tell me exactly where you are. So I'm the guy who's in charge of the post grads group project in Unreal. Do you know the? If you've ever heard of it, that's me. I'm the guy who runs that. I basically try to make it like a real video game studio. We do full production of like a 3D real time scene in Unreal. That is too funny. So what are you taking? Oh, you're in first year, so I know everyone. But damn, yeah. So I teach very part time. Um, like in the summer, it's just one course, and it's that course. I don't know if you have you heard of it, like where we work at do the 3D Unreal scene. You're talking like the fourth floor where Tim is the guy at the front desk. That would be funny. That if in 3 years you'd be my student, if I'm still there. Wouldn't that be funny? You're in a th- you're in 3D animation. Yeah. So what happens is in your fourth year, is it third year or fourth year, you have an elective to do animation or gaming, and I'm in the gaming stream, and I teach like postgraduates and the fourth year gaming students. Very similar stuff. So I teach the game theory and design, and then I take them into a production environment. So if that is the same course, yeah, you could potentially be one of my students if in 2 3 years I'm still there. Isn't that funny? That is, it's like that story I was just telling you about. My friend who met his like, well, not that as dramatic, but that's still kind of crazy. Like we're just like just two people on the internet and just happen to be like there's no one else here, right? There's no one else. Well, there's two people on Facebook, and then I don't think there's anybody on D Live besides you. Isn't that fuck? That's kind of weird. That's a little weird. So, are you going to be at school this summer? Like, do you have courses, or is it like a break during summer? Actually, no, you would be there in summer because the fourth year GAM students are this summer for me, third or fourth year. So you would be you're all year round, I imagine, right? I'll tell you, if you do the GAM course, man, it is intense learning. Like the teachers are excellent. I know them personally. Everyone's from the industry. I'm definitely the oldest. Definitely, I'm not like an old fart, but I do stuff that's less technical. I do more production and theory. But it's a very intense course. I'm always really impressed about what people are able to do, and the animation group is actually usually great. In fact, you can go on. You can see the projects we just did. I might actually have the private links. Let me show you. Let me just show you. Let me see if I can first find it. They texted it to me, so it should be live. I gotta find. Okay, Elizabeth. Where's that? Okay, oh, there she is. Okay, so I will show you. Let me just see if this works. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I'll close that window. Let me open up my thing here. Desktop. Okay, so check this out. This would be your class with me if we do it. Literally, this is the project we just finished. Here, I'll copy and I'll put it here, and you can look. This, where's the? See that link there? This goes to one of 3 group projects I just finished. So I was the executive producer, so I like basically run the thing, but it's the people, it's the students who do this, like 100% student work. So this scene was built in Unreal, and why isn't it getting bigger? And you probably want to watch it yourself because look, I'm only at 360p, and it probably goes up to like 1080p, and there's like sound and stuff, and so they come up with this. I work with them to come up with the concept, and I take them through a whole production pipeline about how to do it. So this is for video game art, right? So this is just video. It's like this could be a video game, and you could walk through this place. Anyhow, have a look. There's 2 other projects that we did, 2 other classes, but that specifically is the one from the animation group, which would be you in a couple years. Isn't that neat? There we go. Yeah, no problem. I don't think anyone's even seen that. They actually just posted the link because you know how class ended like last week? They just posted it so that I could grade them because I have to look at their final work. So I actually use that video as part of my grading. So yeah, they might actually work on it some more and post a more polished version. I know that one of the other classes probably can do that, but that's what they had to finish for me so I could grade it. But I know that they might want to work on it a bit more. But anyhow, that's that, man. That is that. Yeah, that is kind of baffling. That is kind of, and it's even more crazy because I told you that crazy coincidence story. So now we have a story. So now here's my new story that I'm going to tell people. My story is I was telling people about this crazy coincidence story about my friend who met his wife who was living in an apartment above him, and the person I told the story to was one of the people that I potentially may be teaching in like 2 years, you know. Or no, maybe if you do become like my student, I'll be like, this is how I met Mazika 11O or whatever the hell that is. Yep, that is pretty freaky. Come on, man. I don't know where it went to. So what are you learning? You're probably learning 3D Studio Max? Oh, no, I think what happens, what you guys do is you do 3D animation course. Oh, are you doing the... Oh, you know what? You might not be doing the... Are you doing the 4-year animation degree, because that's the younger group I teach. It's the last year of the 4 years of animation, or the postgrads. So unless you're in the 4-year program, I wouldn't teach you, because all I do is I just go to that course and that's it. I don't have anything else to do at school. Okay, there you go. Cool. Like, to be honest, I don't even know much about that course other than I thought that you do 2D illustration. I thought it was all about sort of 2D animation mostly, like traditional cell shaded or cell drawing animation and whatnot. Because a lot of the students who come out of that are really fantastic 2D artists. Because I think they have traditional 2D animation training, or maybe it's just who was selected. But traditionally, they're consistently really good quality animators to begin with. So I don't know if that's a byproduct of the program or that is just part of the selection process. Okay, do you want one of these? Come here. Do you want one of these? She doesn't like these ones as much. They're made of like, see, she may not even eat it. It's made of peanut butter. So she doesn't care about it that much. Hey, Adolfo. Adolfo, are you Spanish? Because hola, doesn't that mean hello in Spanish? Hola? Or maybe it's Italian? No, it's Spanish. Thanks. She is pretty cute. I agree. Hey, Nugget, do you want a bigger one? You want one of these? Come here, baby. You want this? It's okay, you can have it. These are good for dogs' teeth. These are like, they're vegetarian, but they're also like, what's the word? They're like, they help clean their teeth. They're like little, like toothbrushes almost, but they eat them. Cool. You're from, are you, are you in Spain? I'm talking to Aldolfo on Facebook. Aldolfo, are you in Spain now? Or you could be in lots of places speak Spanish. That's kind of silly, isn't it? You could be in like Dominican Republic. You could be in Mexico. You could be in most of South America, with the exception of probably Brazil. I think Brazil is Portuguese, right? But everything else, like Chile, Venezuela, I think that's all Spanish. Green. Yes, I'm kind of green, but where are you from, man? Where are you from, Adolfo? New York. Oh, right. We talked before. You mentioned that before. I remember. Yeah. Sorry, man. I can't remember everyone's name sometimes. It's a little hard. Mostly because I'm good with faces, but not names. So I don't see anybody's face here. So it's easy for me to unremember. Or let's just say forget. New York, because I remember I was doing my stupid New York accent. Like, you have to do that. Or when someone says they're from Boston, you have to go, you're from Boston? And obviously it's murdering their poor accents. But that's okay. You Yanks make fun of us with our, like, for some reason they think we say a boot. Okay, I'm gonna get flow. It's like when you say, I'm doing 4 years, it sounds like you're in prison. In a way, you are. Hey, Mazika, have you watched PewDiePie yet on D Live? Because I haven't. And how would you know when he's on? Like, does he somehow broadcast? Does it say like? Because I haven't really looked too deeply into like if you're supposed to like somehow broadcast if you're going live. Damn allergies. But how do you know when he's going live? So, oh, you're on the phone app. Interesting. Yeah, I think I have the phone app, but I've never actually used it. That is interesting. Oh, I wonder if I should. I wonder if the proper thing for me to do is to repeat back people's comments so that people on the other streams can understand what I'm saying, and I'm not just sort of like responding to. It's almost like talking to a ghost. So you just said D Live app on a phone says a notification whenever someone you follow goes live. You could tell I'm highly professional with my streaming. I'm being sarcastic. But he must have like a crew of people to help him out. Like when you make millions of dollars a year from streaming, you'd figure that he probably has like all kinds of people that do stuff for him. That's crazy, making millions of dollars a year by being a YouTuber. Such a I remember when it was first becoming a thing, thinking, you know what, it's totally possible someone could have a career out of it. Back then it was just like crazy. What? YouTuber? That's ridiculous. Nope. It is for sure. Oh, and the other part too is like I knew, you know, with professional video gamers. I remember when the Koreans were first getting into it with StarCraft, and I was like, this is the future. This is totally. Oh, the other thing that I think battle bots. That's something I was into way before people even knew what it was. And I had a pitch for a battle bot game. I almost built it with the actual. Back then, I think there was 2 TV shows about it. One was British, and one was like with the university students. This is before the other TV shows. And I was like, okay, I'm going to call these guys and find out, who owns intellectual property. And there's a couple more. Oh, parkour. I was one of the first people in the world to get into parkour, man. And I contacted David Bell, who was one of the originators of parkour, and I didn't speak French good enough. So I talked to his wife, who was his business manager, and I can't talk about it. Shit. Fuck. I was going to tell you some cool shit that I did, but I can't because it's under NDA. Damn it. Anyhow. What's the other stuff I could say? There's 2 other guys editing videos. Yeah. Actually, the video editing probably take the longest amount of time. So 2 people sounds like exactly all you need. It's a lot of work, but 2 people can handle it. Oh yeah, there's one other trend that I knew, or I know. Oh yeah, here's another thing. Racing drones. I think that could take off into something. And because it looks like in that, what was that crappy Star Wars where Anakin's like a little kid and he's driving the racer, through the like canyons and stuff. It has a very similar vibe, especially when what happens is you have the camera view of a drone and it's fast. And the way it moves is they're like, bzz, 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 and they go through obstacle courses and stuff. And I think that's going to be something. That's a potential thing. It may not get big. It may not get big like parkour was. It may not be as big, but it's sort of like, for a while, like 20 years ago, American Gladiators, when it first started, it was like, oh, this is going to be something. And then it became like, what's that, American Ninja? When they have to like go over all those obstacle courses. So I think that drone racing has the potential to be another one of those things. It may not be huge, but it'll become something. Enough where, you would have like people sports casting, and like, and Iron Knuckles 3 is taking the lead. No, now he's going through the turbofan, and they're talking like it's a race thing. So that's a prediction for you. Now, for all I know, it may already be a thing. I haven't really looked too deeply into it, but it's just one of those things where you can sort of feel it makes sense. Well, did you finish the painting with the dog? No. I might work on it tomorrow. This one over here. No, the royal weirdness. I still am not happy with it. So, for example, it doesn't quite look like, what's his name? What's that guy's name again? So it doesn't quite look like him. And the problem is all the pencil crayons, they're not dark enough. So I might have to go buy some acrylic paint so I can make out lines and stuff. But I didn't finish it. Crazy one. I'm talking to Adolfo on Facebook. He asked me if I finished the painting with the dog, which I, just for fun, this morning, I put a quick little post on Facebook saying, for my next painting, which I'll start in like an hour, it was a poll. And I said, either I'll do trees number 7, which is what this one is, or something weird. And 83% of the people chose something weird. So what it is, I went and I asked people for suggestions, and someone said, paint your dog, then paint Jack Nicholson's face on your dog, lost in the forest with vines sweeping all around. They gave me all these ideas, so that's what that painting was about. Well, I'm singing More Than Words. Who is that? More than words ever know. It's some cheesy band. I know. More than words. Okay. Okay, so what I really need to do is make the lighting much more dramatic in here, and then the sky. Oh, it's actually this purple stuff. That actually could almost even be like a forest behind here. Like I could do lines that kind of come down, and it make you give an impression that it's like these are trees. Originally, I was thinking that would be the sky. Oops. Extreme. I don't know what Adolphe mean by extreme, but just because there's always a delay. There's a big delay between what I'm doing and when I see you guys. I got an ice cream from Zika. Thank you. I don't know what it means, but I'll take your ice cream. Yes, I'll take that as a victory of some kind. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, when you're on DLive, the idea is that you earn virtual currencies called Linos or something, and that people can donate them to you. So, and like for an ice cream is 1 Lino. So Mazuka just gave me an ice cream icon, and it was 1 Lino or something. So it's kind of like it's how you reward people for creating content. That's the content behind it. For all you old people on Facebook. Old farts on Facebook. That's what I should be. I should be the in between all the old farts on Facebook and then the rest of the world. I should help them navigate the landscape of technology. Because I'm old like them, but I don't live in a world of the Utah today. That's what happens when you make video games. You don't age. You stay the same maturity level. Immature. Maturity level low. It's a victory ice cream, exactly. I've earned it. So far, I think I've earned about 0.8 cents of Lino dollars. I'm going to cash them in one day. Cash in my 400 Linos. Da 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 da. I like painting these trees. It's kind of fun because all I'm doing is I'm making weird, random, shapes and stuff, and your brain interprets them as actual kind of tree markings. That's what I love about doing this stuff. I'm just sort of having fun going in here and like imagining where the tree would bend and then creating like little bits of light and shade where I think they would be. This is cool. I love doing this. So it requires a whole bunch of layering. Lots of layering. Requires lots of layering, constant variation. What I mean by that is constantly trying different brush strokes and patterns so I can build something up. What time is it? More than words extreme. Who sings that horrible song? I mean, who wrote that horrible song? More than words. Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. I wonder if this is maybe. I'm hoping that this is going to dry darker. The stuff I'm putting down here. Also, I need to switch brush. Well, I'll switch brushes in a minute. I'm hoping this kind of ugly mint I just did here will dry off darker, because it is kind of an extreme and kind of like color. Yeah, it's not. Well, I can just paint over it. I can just paint lighter colors. It can sort of go like this. Oh, that hit the mic. Is Extreme the band? When you say More Than Words Extreme, is that the is Extreme the name of the band who sings it? Aldovo? Oh, weird. I'm getting a frequency in this ear now. Oh, I hate when that happens. Oops. Oops. Grass green. Let me try some grass green. So, little Redon, little brush strokes, little Auguste Redon. See these little boop, boop, boop? That's Auguste Redon coming to life right there. Painter, we like. I'm bringing him back to life. Here you go. I'm breathing some life back into you, my friend. You're dead, but I'm bringing you back from the grave. So enjoy the moment. I need to make it more intense. The light is not quite light. It's not quite force floor light up. It's not quite there where light is breaking through. Was what that's the effect I want. It's like light is just kind of like force floored. TR3B. Hey, TR3B. It's like you're like R2D2's half cousin. So gouaches just don't mix as nice as oils. Just, FYI. They just don't have the same kind of like flexibility. They beat watercolors, that's for sure. It's actually too minty. Let's get more yellow in there. Let's get more yellow, more mustardy. I don't like mint. Mint is too cartoony, silly. It's like a silly kind of color. Oh, I don't like that color. That color pisses me off. I need like a warmer. Okay, what about this kind of? Oh, is it the same color I already have? No, it's a little bit warmer. A little bit more orange. I might stop soon. I might. Je peux parler un peu de français. C'est longtemps que je parle français, mais je peux comprendre plus que je peux dire. J'ai étudié French up to university, and then I lived in Montreal for a couple of years, so I got a little bit of that, but that was like 20 years ago. So I've got a buddy who's French Canadian, and he's got 2 daughters, and we would go to the cottage together once in a while. And his youngest daughter didn't speak very good English, so and my other buddy who would come up with their kids, like we'd all sort of get together and have this like sort of family kind of get together thing, and I would be like the French translator of the. I think she was like 5 at the time, so I'd say my French is about a level of a someone who's 5 years old. No, not even 5-year-old, like 4-year-old. Like I can get by, but I certainly get stuck with words. Like I just can't remember the verb to like to throw, you know, that kind of stuff. I'll be like, what? Piche? Like, you know. So I would, if I speak French, not really. I have a comprehension to some degree. Maybe I can add some more white now to brighten up this stuff. The problem is I don't have much white left. Where's the white? I'm kind of hungry. I'm getting hungry. It's probably too late to eat. Oh, crap, it's midnight. Top for one of my... Oh, here it is. Oh, there's my white. Hello, white. I was looking for you. What if we mix white with a little bit of green and much more yellow? Let's try that. Oh, that really didn't work out very well at all. Oops. That's like very yellow. But it is kind of a warm thing, so maybe I will use it. White. What I really want is just one of those like a. Oh, I bet you even have like these light, very soft yellows. Oh, that's the color I was just doing. Damn it! Let's try a different one. This is a very lemon. Well, it's called lemon yellow. That's why. And let's try this leaf green. Let's just go nuts and let's just see what that does. That is kind of a silly color, but I'm going to use it. I'm going to use this leaf green. It's like very leaf green, very. It's almost like, what's that? Those green apples. Granny Smith. I think they're called Granny Smith. Oops. You know, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Italian is alike. It's true, but not like enough. It's true because I recently went to a Spanish-speaking country, and what I realized was how much little Spanish I know. I couldn't even have basic conversations like at the grocery store. I couldn't even ask, where's the milk? Donde leche, por favor? I think I actually means get. Donde, well, that means give me. See, there you go. Donde, no, donde is where. See, I don't know Spanish at all. That's a very handy language to know, Spanish. Especially if you want to live in the States, man. It's like the second most popular language. Popular, common, whatever. All right. What is missing is the trees themselves need some definition. So, now these are called gouache. I can't tell where the camera is. Gouache. That's what they are. Gouache. They're somewhere between. Oops, sorry. Gouache and I just apologize to my mic. Gouache and watercolor. I liked it before when you were more anonymous. Now I'm like, if you could be a potential student, I could like, oh man, I can't swear as much. Get me in trouble with the dean. Did you know that Professor Josh swears? Actually, I don't give a shit. Go ahead, tell him. I know the guy. ¿Dónde está la leche? Where's the milk? That's the extent of my Spanish right there, Aldolfo. That's it. It ends at where's the milk. Begins and ends. For example, où est mon chien? Where's my dog? I absolutely could not say that in Spanish. Where's my dog? Où est mon chien? Ma chien. Parce qu'elle est une fille. Oh, no. Chien is female in French. Isn't that weird that a language has a gender? Like la table. The table. Femme. La table. La table. Why the hell do we... inanimate objects have a gender. That's just weird. I always thought that was so. What I didn't like about learning French is you have to memorize like what in like that individual language are feminine or masculine. Like why? Why does a table? Polish also has genders for everything. Is that right? I wonder how that came about. Like, what would be what is the logical? Is episiostomy? Is that sort of the root meaning of things? Like, what is the purpose? What purpose does it serve? Having a gender for, like, objects. There's got to be a reason why. Like, somehow to differentiate between things. I mean, that was probably somehow at some point. I'm sure people have studied this. And there's got to be. I'm sure I could just use the Google. Just use the Google. Feeling a little bit tiredy. Little bit tiredish coming on. I'm feeling a little tired. John says, are mushrooms and the dead would have fallen trees ever on the ground level of some forest paintings? Well, now they're going to be. Totally forgot about mushrooms. I totally forgot about dead wood. Crying out loud. Why don't I try to put some mushrooms? You know those mushrooms that grow on the bottom of trees? Let's do some here. Oh, that didn't work. Yeah. For crying out loud, why aren't there any goddamn trees on the floor? What kind of forest is this? Any half-decent, self-respecting forest, jeez, would have some freaking shit lying on the ground. Especially those mushrooms. I love those mushrooms. I mean, I hate mushrooms. I don't eat them. But those, you know, those mushrooms that grow on the side of trees, like, for sure. They kind of do this. They go like this. Oops. This is blue. I don't want blue. Should I paint it? Maybe I'll paint it. No, I'll just draw it. Hard thing was learning German for me because they change. Let me read this thing here. They change. I gotta expand the window so I can read it. They change genders for objects. I already know genders of. Huh. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know any German. Oh, so if all says to male female makes a difference. Okay. Yeah, John made a good point. Costanzo. Are mushrooms and the dead wood of fallen trees ever on the ground level of some forest paintings? They should be. I mean, most of the time I just make this shit up as I go. So I just let's do some. Is that blue too? God damn it! I'm looking for like a dark brown. They I know exactly what they look like. They go like this. I don't remember like what colors they are, but they kind of like they're like this kind of a shape. And let's try gray. Let's make some gray ones, right? They kind of like they do this. And they kind of like grow and disgusting mushrooms. I can't believe people eat mushrooms. They're fungus. You don't eat fungus. Why are you eating fungus? And I'll do a weird one. I'll like they kind of. This one's gonna come up on the side in a weird way. Oops. Okay, so there's a couple mushrooms there for you, John. Thank you for the suggestion. Normally I just tell people to go fuck themselves when they tell me suggestions, but that was actually a good suggestion. Thank you for considering some viewer ideas. Yeah. Well, John, I'm very simple. Okay. If you want me to do something, all I have to do is use reverse psychology. Unless I think you're reverse psychology, because I always, whenever someone tells me to do something, I usually do the exact opposite because I'm like insufferably like do not let me be told what to do. So anytime someone tries to tell me to do something, I'm like, nope. Okay, so fuck you. I'm doing the opposite. I'm like a child, essentially. And I kind of do it for my own amusement, to be honest. That's what you got to do. When you don't have a life, when you don't really do anything with your life, you have to make your own fun. That's kind of the way I see it. It's the reward I give myself for being so boring. Okay, so I got a little mushroom here. Isn't that cool? That's actually good. I like that little mushroom. Maybe there's other little weird growth things happening. Little speckly weird stuff. And I'll put some speckly stuff happening here too. And then now I gotta put sticks and things in the ground. I mean, the sticks could be just literally brown marks. Like maybe, I wonder if I can even see it. So here's a problem with pencil crayon on gouache. It does not show up. It shows up as a shiny object. So I'd have to paint it. I would have to paint it. Wait, you don't know? Mushrooms are disgusting. Mushrooms are disgusting. It's a fungus. You're eating a fungus. That's camp. No. Ever since I was a kid, both my sister and I have always hated mushrooms. Always. I don't know why. They make me want to barf. Like literally, I'm not exaggerating it. They make me want to throw up. So like even, but I don't mind them on pizza. Like the other thing is I like what's that stuff? Tuna fish casserole with mushroom soup. I love that shit. That's what I ate every day. Like I ate all the time at university. It was like you get a can of tuna, you get a can of tuna, mushroom soup, some like crafted noodles, and some mozzarella cheese, and you boil the noodles. Just mix all that stuff up, and you put some mozzarella cheese on top, and that was like the most hearty, like $5 dinner. I used to eat that all the time at university. Well, maybe not super hearty, but it was cheap and was good, and it had all the things 23-year-old needs. Mushrooms, disgusting. I wish I liked mushrooms. Like, for example, I can't tell you how many times you go to a place and they have those big portobello mushrooms, and I look at it and go, oh my god, I wish I liked that thing. But I swear to God, it's the texture. It's the texture that grosses me out. It's all squishy and just freaks me out. Nasty. Okay, let's put some sticks on the ground. Okay, there's two ways I could do this. If this was acrylic or oil paint, the first thing I do is I do a thick, the width of the branch, I go like this. I wait for it to dry, and I do a lighter color in the middle, so I'd have an outline for it that was very subtle, and I'd go. Problem is with gouache, it's already it doesn't dry light. Like what I mean? Oh, it's already dry. It fades, so it's much harder to paint on top. No, I've never had pickled mushrooms. And I think I'd rather eat... No, I was going to say, well, I think I'd rather eat my own vomit. To be honest, I couldn't do it. No, I hate mushrooms that much. They're just horrible. Eat your own vomit. Damn it, you shouldn't have told me that you're a student there now, because now I'm self-conscious about saying shit. So let's pretend that we didn't have that conversation, okay? I'm just going to do some random kind of like movement with this brush to try to see if I can do some sticks. Or maybe they should be more white-ish. Well, here's the other part that's stupid about my painting, is that, like birches, they probably have branches that go off. And one thing I forgot to do is doing foliage at the top. Like, you know, these trees have foliage, and I just sort of just let them go off the screen, and off the edge of the painting, and just forgot about them. So there are some fatal flaws to my paintings. They just are a little ridiculous. But I like the fact it's completely made up. I like that. What is this? What color could this be if I put yellow there? Let's just put little dabs of yellow poking there. Should I do some foliage? Okay, I could sort of create a kind of foliage effect. not a shame. I really like those little mushrooms. They add even more to observing. Exactly. It needs a bit. How about dead branches or a deer? Oh, jeez. I'm not gonna think. I'm not gonna do a deer. Jesus Christ. I'd actually have to look at it. What a picture of a deer looks like. No, I like doing things that I don't have to like. I can just make some squiggly marks, and the pareidolia of it just gives you the impression of it, right? You know, that's what I like. I like this making things up, because with a deer, you're gonna have to like. First of all, you need to observe those things. Like, you need to either be near a deer. The only way I could do it is if I've done so many fucking trees now that and I've been doing it like whatever. I've done certain things so many times. They're just in my mind. I don't need to look at anything. I can just do it. The only way I could do a deer is if I had a picture of a deer, or I'd already spent hundreds of hours observing it and just bringing it into my brain. And besides, it's kind of like, it's a little on the corny side, man. Like, I love animals, no question about it, but a deer is it's just too Bambi. That's the problem. And the problem with my paintings right now is there already are too impressionistic pretty. Like, I'm literally thinking that I need to get it a little darker. I want to have it a bit more. Like, I don't want to make something that you want to put up in your bathroom, put it this way. I would like to make something that's a bit more, just a little deeper than that. Oh, you son of a bitch, I fucked that up, didn't I? Like, I want to make something that is a little bit more, that's distinctive, and I can't believe I just did that. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. Oh, God, this stupid nose dripping. A deer would run from the observer of this section of forest. That's right, especially if I had a 30-30-30. Yeah. There's a hunting rifle. 30-30. Who do I know that would talk like that? I know someone that talk like that. I'm just trying to, somewhere back in my mind, I was imitating someone I knew who literally would talk like that. 30-30. Definitely. Not sure. Oh, John, I think you're just taking it too literally, man. Okay. I got a feeling this red might be too bright. Let's just try this. Let's mess around with outlining some of the trees with red. Why not? Which one? This one over here. Let's try this one. What if I just outlined it with red? What would that look like? Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Very interesting. Never seen. It's almost. Oh, this is like an orange. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just leave that one tree orange. That's it. And one tree is orange. This is red. I was kind of looking for this. Yeah, that's red. Oh, it's more like a purple almost. It's hard to tell. I think my eyes are gone. Oh. It's maybe too thick. Now, let's try a different color. What about, I want darker. I want a darker red. These ones are good. That rifle will scare everything on legs away from the forest view. 30-30. I'm a pretty good shot, actually. Surprisingly good. First time well, no, it's not the first time. I'm thinking. First time I ever shot automatic guns. That's what I say. I went to Vegas once. And just walked into a place. This is a true story. Walked into a place. I think you put $50 down. They give you 50 bullets, and you walked up and you picked any gun off the shelf. I got an Uzi 9mm. I got a Thompson submachine gun. Those are the two I remember. There was a third one, and like the guy behind was like sort of said, here's my training to firing a fully automatic weapon. And it was like an open shooting range. It was just like one long table. There was no dividers or anything. This is what he said. You're fired a fully automatic weapon, son. I'm like, and this is like some Canadian 25-year-old guy. Like, no, I haven't fought one. Sean, he points to the switch. I think on the Thompson submachine gun, which is like a cool old school World War II. And semi-automatic, fully automatic. Point that way. That was it. That was my whole training. And what happened was, one of the guns, I can't remember how to crazy kick. I think it was the Uzi because it's so small like this, and I went like this. Fucking, like I think it must have been I think it was indoors. This is like 1995, so I can't remember the super details, but I remember him what he said, and I remember when I shot the gun. I wasn't prepared for the kickback. And back then, I didn't know a lot about guns. Like I had like no training. The only training I did was like when I was a kid. We used to like shoot 22s up north at trees and stuff. Like shot a lot of bullets at trees. But I'd never fired like anything more than a 9mm back then. So these were like probably 45 ACPs or something a bigger bullet, but also a fully automatic because I don't even know if they're fully automatic. Like, I don't know where they're fully automatic. I think only the police and military, I believe, at least for sure in Canada, can have or use or play, whatever fully automatic weapons. You don't get that opportunity too often, but unless you go to the States, and it depends where you are. Like Vegas, it was just like no rules. It was, go ahead, shoot away. Don't shoot somebody, okay? Point it that way. It was literally, you ever fired a fully automatic weapon, son? No? Okay. Fully automatic, semi-automatic. Point it that way. I almost got my black badge. I was so into to target shooting. I almost got the black badge. That's a certain level of training you get up here where you can. It's weird. Like you're not even allowed to use a holster at a shooting range. You need to have a certain like license, basically. So weird. I never really understood. Well, I guess because you can actually really screw up easily. You could pull it out, and you could actually, it could misfire. There's a real possibility of misfires, and that's something you don't want. I've had lots of weird misfires. Just jams, just weird jams. When that first happens to you, you're like, holy shit, what do I do? Now it's just like, no big deal. Pop. My buddy got extremely good. He started training with one of Canada's top shooters. And he had a reloader, like he was like totally into it. I think you're into shooting when you have your own reloader. Because you need to. It saves a lot of money. Reloader is where you collect the shells and you make your own bullets. You pick up all the casings from the ground after a bunch of people shooting. You match them up, and then you go home and you have this. It's a machine where you put the gunpowder and the firing pin, and then a case, and then you sort of like do a stamping movement, and you basically repress bullets. You make your own bullets, literally, and because bullets are expensive. Oh, I remember. I once tried, what was that gun? It was the most powerful handgun in the world. What was it called? It's a revolver, of course. Bigger than the it used to be the biggest. There was one that was the biggest. God, my brain is so gone. And it was a buck a bullet. And what I remember about it too is like, holy shit, your hand hurt. Like, you know, I'm pretty good with pain, but I was surprised. I shot, you know, I think it's a 6-shooter. I think that's how many I held. But your hand is like ringing. It's like, ugh, wow. It was like painful. It felt like an electric shock. I don't know if you've ever been shocked before, but that's what it was like firing this thing. It was a big, heavy steel revolver with a barrel. It was probably this big. It was just thick. Steel. And I did not enjoy it at all just because it hurt. Like, it's kind of a weird thought thing. That whole shooting a handgun hurts. I'm supposed to get used to it, but I wasn't used to it at all. I was used to like light handguns, like Glocks and SIGs and stuff, where they're composite, they're light. You can barely, like the trigger on a Glock is just these hair triggers. You barely have to touch it. You barely. And this thing was like, you know, just felt mechanical. It felt, you know, different, totally different vibe. What is it called? It was okay. It was bigger than 352 Magnum. What did you get? Smith & Wesson made it a revolver. 500, was it the 500 Magnum? I think you're right, John. I think it was a 500 Magnum. I think so. So this was about maybe 8 years ago. And that gun was around for a couple of years, I think. Because I remember it had just trumped the biggest gun. Oh, you own one? Yeah, what was the biggest gun just before that? Like, for everyone knew this other gun. It was like what was the Dirty Harry gun? I think that was up to that point, Dirty Harry's gun was the biggest one. And then they came out just to top it. It was huge. Yeah, it was huge. And like, did it not hurt your hand when you shot it? Like, did it not go, like, it felt like it sent a shock into my bones, into my wrist bones, you know? And even with ears on, it was still loud. Like, you would really, like, it was like, it kind of went to your core of your body. It was like a shock. It was like a pounding. Maybe it just, that's just what my memory of just doing that thing. Oh, you son of a bitch. Yeah, okay, you're right. Okay, so, yes, I'm pretty sure you're right. No, Desert Eagle is not actually, it's a big gun, but it's nothing like, yeah, I fired a Desert Eagle too. Desert Eagle feels very different. It feels different. There's something about the 44 Magnum. That's right. So John's right. Up to that point, 44 Magnum was the big gun, whatever, and then the 500 came out. And, yeah. I mean, the Desert Eagle is a big gun. Like, there's no question about it. It's just got a totally different feel to that revolver. I don't know why. And I'm not that experienced with those bigger guns. Like, you don't really have a lot of that access up here. Like, you know, the only place you're going to get, you can shoot revolvers here is like is a gun range, first of all. And either you bought it or you have to rent it. The rules are very strict for guns up in Canada. I'm okay with that. But so your opportunities to try these things are very low. It's not like it's not like going to Vegas. Right? Just like, okay, here you go. What was it? I had a third gun. It might have. No, I was gonna say it was an AK, but it wasn't. It wasn't. I remember. I just thought it was so cool. Actually, I really liked the Thompson machine gun. Like it made, because, you know, I was holding this weapon that guys used in combat in World War II who were my age. They were literally using that gun, and I was thinking, holy shit, like, Imagine pointing that at somebody and you had to shoot. Like, you know, my generation, we skipped war. Like there was no. It's not like in the States. You know, very few. I only know one guy who is actually. That's not true. I know a few people that were in the military, but it's not common. Actually, I know Tim, Andrew, Ed. I'm 3 people I can think of the top of my head who were in the military. It's not like in the States where it's like, you know, so many people. Yeah, like, what do you? Oh, I'm in the army, whatever. But up here, it's pretty uncommon. My grandfather was in the army. He was a lieutenant colonel, and he taught tank driving or just fighting, whatever. He taught people to drive and shoot fucking tanks. This is in World War II. That was kind of cool. He taught it in Ontario. There was a base in Ontario. I think it was near Ottawa. I never met him. He died way before I was born. Which is a shame. Apparently he was a good guy. What's that little... Oh. That's funny. Got a notification up there. Also, guns are very expensive toys. Up here, they're just much more expensive in the States. It's a very expensive hobby, too. Because up here in Canada, I don't know, you have to have a gun, you have to get it with a license, you have to be a member of a gun range. And the gun ranges can be pretty damn expensive. So just if you want to do it, you've got to have a yearly membership to a gun range. So you're spending, you know, like $800. It's not uncommon just for the membership. Then you got to add on the cost of like the bullets, which, you know, when you go to range, you got, you know, you don't want to sit there. You want to have some fun, right? You want to practice and stuff. And also, too, oh my God, anything more than a 9 is expensive. Like 45s or whatever, you just can't afford to shoot them. Like they were like, I can't remember how much they cost, but I just remember going, oh my God, I don't want, like, you could blow like $100 like in minutes. Okay, I think I might take a break soon. I think I got a good chunk of stuff done here. I think the sticks don't look very good. Fortunately, maybe I'll try drawing something like that. So these are my sticks. I think what I need to do is there needs to be light and dark with the stick. And it needs to be for it to look like a stick, I think. Yeah. So I'm just looking at these little white lines I just drew in it. I have a 45 semi on a high point. Yeah. High point. Oh crap. You know, I don't know much about high point. My understanding is that they're sort of like middle of the road, kind of. Could be wrong. Ah, you crap balls. high point. Why am I... Okay. You know, I think I'm fairly knowledgeable. Like, definitely more than most Canadians, because we just don't... It's not part of our culture, but... I think high point... See, typically what happens is you just become familiar with the stuff that you would own, because you don't get the opportunity to try too much stuff. You don't, like... It's not like you can go... And even till, like, you know, if you go with a friend and he's got a gun, you might be able to... like right at the range, try out their stuff, but it's almost like it's not really encouraged, put it that way. So interesting. High point. Maybe I was thinking of tech. What's it called? Which are kind of shit. I didn't want to say they were shit because that might have been insulting, but I was thinking about which I'm gonna call it tech. They're like shitty street guns, right? They always like. What am I thinking? I'll have to go Google it, but yeah, I'll have to take a look at high point because I just don't remember. High point is a Chevy average quality. Yeah, okay, maybe I was right. That's right. I really like your dead branch sticks on the floor of your forest painting. That's because you wanted me to do it. That's why I like it so. All right. Okay. Yeah. I was like, I was thinking like high point. They're okay. They're not super great. It's like a Chevy. Yeah, that's a good analogy actually. A Chevy. I'll just do some like dark lines here just to make it break it up, and those could be more sticks and stuff. I think what I need to do as well is I don't think I've done a good job so far with all these trees. Like they need to have, they're not. There's something. I need to make them have some depth. Like I think I'll darken this red tree so that it's fading away a little bit. Maybe I'll leave some light on it. I don't know, but this is something that just doesn't feel as right. It just isn't the right sense of depth yet that I need. Like these are too damn light. I think I'll have to come back and repaint, like paint over these a bit. Also, where's the gray? I think I should put like more gray near the top to contrast with the sky. Like that. High point's like 100 yards, man. That's pretty far. I just assume that. Well, what's your? Is your 40? I guess that's. That's a good distance. Yards, eh? Do you use iron sights on that, or do you got a scope or something like that? For 100 yards. I haven't shot a lot of like rifles, like long range stuff, just because there's no opportunity. There are a few outdoor ranges here, but the range I used to go to was indoor, so it wasn't 100 yards. I think maybe, how far was it? Maybe 50? Yeah, maybe 50. It's been a long time. It's been a couple, like, almost a decade since it was there, like 8 or 9 years or something like that. It's a long barrel. Yeah, I assume that because you said 100 yards. There's no way you're shooting a handgun at 100 yards. I love talking guns. It's fun. I definitely grew up with a 22 rifle. Oh, I even did a painting of my 22 rifle. Let me show it to you. Let me show you my 22. It was actually my grandfather's, but it was just hanging on the cottage wall. So when I was a little kid, I just take it off. And back then, you could go to the corner store and buy bullets. As a kid, I used to bike about a half an hour or so to the corner store. When we were up north, my grandparents lived basically up north. That's up north of Toronto. I called it my 22 because I think I was the only one who ever used it. I think it's called my 22. Did I call it? No, I was going to call it 22. 22. Here it is. Look at this. 22 from Cottage Wall. Oh, did it have a scope on it? I don't even remember. It was a piece of shit. Like, it was so inaccurate. But we would just blink, 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 blink. There she is. So I was 9 years old when I did this. It was either 8 or 9. I have to pick one age because in 79 I was 8 or 9. There she is. A little 22. Oh, that's right. I think it was like one of those. I think you would load it up. Okay, I'm remembering a couple of little 22 guns from the past. I'm trying to remember. I think the way it worked is right here. You would unscrew the cap, and either a rod came out, or you just put the bullets in, and then you would. I believe. I'm kind of just feeling it in my mind. I think that to reload, you would pull the lever down and back, and that would like eject the casing and load a new one, I think. The scope looks too short here. Yeah, the whole gun looks way too short too. Now that I'm looking at it, look how short the barrel is. It probably should go to here. Huh. My parents didn't know this. My parents were anti-gun, absolutely. My grandfather was he didn't care. He was deaf, and he would talk like this. You know, when people are deaf, they have that kind of talk. Go ahead, go take the gun, go ahead, just don't shoot anybody. And my cottage was very secluded. Like, there was like a big rock wall on one side. So like I basically shooting it into the hillside. That went up vertically like about 40, 50 feet. So there's like very little chance. Like, unless someone was like climbing the wall straight in front of me, it was pretty damn safe. And I was respectful. I was taught by my uncle actually was a fucking he taught the RCMP shooting. So it was my uncle who actually I don't want to say he got me into it, but he was like a pro shooter. And he used to teach. The RCMP is kind of like, what's the equivalent in the States? FBI's. No, not really. They're the enforcement arm of our law enforcement. Like, they are maybe like the Fed. Yeah, the Feds. They're like the Feds. So anyhow, so he would teach like the local, what are they called? RCMP, like, I don't know, officers? Are they officers? I guess so, yeah. He was definitely more of an outdoorsy guy. He used to take us, when we were up north, he would like get us up like 5 in the morning to go fishing. Need to mess those up a bit. They look too perfect. Oh, let's see if somebody said anything. Thank you. Yeah, it was this little kid. You know what, John? I think actually it was actually a real scope. I think it's just a bad painting. I don't think it was a handgun scope. I don't think. Even though I know what you mean, it definitely looked like it. There weren't really any handguns. It was only rifles. There was another gun. There was a shotgun, single barrel shotgun, which, to be honest, I think there was something faulty about the firing pin or something, and so I never messed around with it. I didn't take the chance. Yeah, I remember the two guns in the wall. It was 22, and then like I played with it, like I'd take it down and like with a kid just holding it and stuff like that. But I always knew. I'm remembering now, like don't touch the shotgun, or maybe it was just because it was more dangerous. But I seem to recall something there being like an issue. My grandfather never shot those things. Like it was literally like I don't even know where they came from. I don't know if they were just decorations. It was just sort of like cottagey thing to do is to have a couple guns lying around. Back then, I don't think it's like that anymore. I think people are terrified of them. The city slickers are terrified of the guns. Okay, well, I think maybe what I'll do is I'll just take a break for the night. I fucked up the mushroom. God damn it. See, I'm sort of brushing things along. Where's that gray pencil? Okay. All right, yeah, I think I'm just going to take a break. I think that's good enough for now. Oh, I still think that the trees up here need better definition. Wait. When does a painter know when he or she has added enough detail and depth of a painting? Does something just click aside? Yeah, it's totally 100% intuition. I just feel it. I just know it. It's kind of like a good analogy is I was just going to say, like, when you eat like a really delicious dessert and you just feel full, like you've had enough. Like imagine you had enough. What's your favorite? Let's say your favorite dessert, like a chocolate sundae. No, a chocolate. What's that? What's a really rich dessert? Some chocolate fountain cake, right? And you had the whole thing in front of you, and it's kind of like you just take enough. You just know, and you're like, oh, that's it. I'm done, and it just feels. There you go. See, for me, what I'm doing is I kind of feel myself in here, and like for example, I think I can make it darker a little bit here. Right, it could fade away a little bit darker, and this is what happens to me all the time. Just before I'm about to be done, and the last few seconds is usually the best. Usually, the very best stuff is I do at the very, very end, just before I call it a day. That's when the things suddenly transform from like a bunch of scratchy shit into something that's like that's kind of nice. I'm not there right now. Yeah, but anyway, that's all it is. Is just this. Complete vibe, complete just intuition. You know what it is? I'm really good at listening to my intuition. I'm really good at hearing my own kind of like thoughts. Like they're very clearer than someone talking to me. So I guess that's all it is. It's just you listening to your own thoughts. Like sometimes thoughts come in your head. I just like, oh, I trust you. I'm going to go. All right. You want me to cross the street now? It's safe. Okay. Let's just do it. That's a lot what it's like. Hey, Cheryl. I'm literally just like calling it in for the night. I don't know if you just got here, but I've been doing this for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And I'm just packing it up. I'm like, yeah. I'll just do a couple of these little purple little. I kind of fucked that. I don't like those little purple things I just did, but whatever. Ooh, that's kind of. I like this little bit of glowing. I don't know if you can see this. I like this. Let me just zoom in. Oh, it's freezing. Hold on. I like this. I don't know if you can see this. It was not intentional. It's just like one of these happy accents. See this area here? It's just kind of like lighter and light. So what I kind of do is I'll accentuate it by adding more dark around the top, so it almost looks like it's intentional, right? I like that. I sort of just I play and drop some stuff down, and then I use that to guide me to create new stuff. So, see how that's shaded by the pencil? It picks up the texture, so there's bumps. I don't want that. I want to go back later and I'll paint it. Or the other option is if I take a gray pencil, a lighter pencil, I can smudge it down and hide those textures. So there is a way I can do it, like just like that. But that looks a little bit too dark. So this is too bright white, but it does soften it out. So there are some tricks I could do. Like there, that's too... I don't want that texture. I don't want that water paper color showing through. Oh, fuck, do I like that? Yeah, okay, I'll leave that. In fact, here, I'll accentuate that thing I just did. So I'm going to add some white here. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to go in... Here, I don't know if I can see what I just did. I just added those little white little dots to accentuate this sort of like strange glow happening behind. So now it's like more intentional there. Look at that. I think those little things are important. It separates it from just someone slapping some shit together. You know, pouring some paint on a canvas and just thinking that that's somehow, you know. I read a quote by Jackson Pollock, which I totally disagree with, just today. It was something to the effect that how you put the paint on the canvas doesn't matter or something, or, you know, because his way was just to splatter paint everywhere, which to me was mostly bullshit. He was just trying to justify his own fucking lack of talent, laziness to perpetuate, you know, he was making some serious cash, man. Of course, listen, if I was making millions of bucks by splashing some paint on the canvas and people were going with it, but like, okay, that sounds good to me. Retirement fund, fuck. That's all that was happening. Everything else is just bullshit. Like, you know, oh, this is a representation of the state of affairs of man vis-a-vis relationship with the zeitgeist of the... go fuck yourself. You're full of shit. Am I rambling again? Yeah, I'm rambling. I was telling my friend about this today. He says, you just sound like you're jealous. I'm like, yeah, I guess I am to some degree. I wish I had that kind of like easy life. Wish I could. Yeah, he's right. So that's why I'm going to shut up now. All right. Yeah, good night, John. I'm going to bed too. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this here. All right. So thanks for watching. See ya. Bye.